Hello, welcome to Econ 451 Game Theory. I'll be your instructor, Town O, and this will be the first of the motivational videos. This motivational video will go over the importance of learning game theory. So before I do that, I want to apologize that this course had to be transitioned online from a traditional in-class course. There was a university-wide policy to transition all main-semester courses to an online format. I'm really glad that you guys still decided to take it nonetheless, and I can assure you that depending on how you use my course material, you'll be learning just as much as you would in a traditional in-class course. So just to give you a brief background of who I am, my name is Town O. You can just refer to me as Town in your emails or virtual meetings. Please don't put doctor or professor. I'm a doctoral student here in Purdue studying economics. Feel free to email me or talk to me if you have any questions about my research. And I've actually done my undergraduate here in Purdue, and I remember taking my first game theory class, and I was just fascinated by the wide application of game theory in different academic fields and in different social settings. So in this course, I'll try to give you guys a lot of examples and applications of the theory, so that the theories that you learn just doesn't remain as a theory, but you guys will be able to apply it in your respective fields. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about game theory. So what comes to your mind when you think about games in the game theoretic sense? Now, some of you might be thinking about Call of Duty or StarCraft, and it certainly is a useful skill to know how to be good at these kind of games. But in this course, we'll be concerned with a different kind of game, the kind of games that are very important in your daily activities and between firms or businesses, and the type of games that you're exposed to on a daily basis. So, to give you an idea of what is and what isn't a game, I'm going to give you 3 sets of photos, and for each set, you'll be comparing a photo on the left to a photo on the right, and just take a minute or two to think about how the scenario on the left is different from the scenario on the right in terms of how people arrive at their decision. All right, so the first case is a person deciding between sleeping in or going to class versus an instructor deciding on the grading scheme of the class that she's teaching. Case 2 is deciding how to take care of a pet rock versus asking somebody out on a date. And case 3 is choosing between Coke or Pepsi versus a CEO of the Pepsi company deciding on how to price their product. So take a minute or two to think about how the scenario on the left is different from the scenario on the right. So let's look at the first case. So your decision to attend class is based on whether you did an all-nighter or whether you believe going to class or not will hurt your attendance grade. So this decision is not interdependent on other people. You're the only one making a decision based on your own preferences. So this is not a game. How about on the right? Deciding on a grading scheme. So I believe instructors take into account how the students will respond to the various grading scheme when they announce the grading scheme on the syllabus. And taking into how the students will react, the instructor would change the grading scheme. And this is a case where strategic interaction with other individuals are important, because the instructor needs to know how the students would react to her decisions before she makes a decision. So let's look at the second case. So a decision to take care of a pet rock is hardly interdependent. because a rock is a non-living entity, obviously, and you're the only one who decides how much you want to invest in taking care of the pet rock. So this is not a game. And compare that to you asking somebody out. So this involves you thinking about how the other person would respond, right? If you think that the other person would say yes, you would follow through and ask the person out. But if you think that the other person would say no, then you perhaps would not do it. So this is an example where people try to think about what the other person does before they make a decision. And this also touches on some of the behavioral anomalies or the psychic cost of feeling disappointed when there's really no reason to feel disappointed. And towards the end of the course, we'll look at some of these behavioral and psychological tendencies of human beings and how behavioral or experimental economics have tried to model these kind of behaviors. So let's look at our last case. You deciding between Coke or Pepsi is solely based on your own preference, and it only benefits you whether you like Pepsi or Coke. Compare that to a CEO deciding how to price their product. This is one of the hardest jobs because he's faced with a strategic interaction with not only the customers, but their competitors, one of whom is Coca-Cola. So if the Pepsi CEO sets the price very low to gain more customers, Coca-Cola may respond by lowering their prices even lower, hoping to divert the customers away from Pepsi to Coca-Cola. So we will look at models of competition between firms and learn how firms set optimal prices and quantities in these strategic settings. We will also look at how games significantly change if we allow one person to take an action first instead of both parties taking action simultaneously. So in this case, the CEO of Pepsi will be first making the move, and later on, Coca-Cola or other companies would respond to Pepsi's action. So I hope this video kind of got you guys interested in why we need to learn game theory. As you can see, game theory has applications in various aspects of our lives. So okay, this concludes the first of the motivational videos. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.